Oh, no, I can't do that. Um, Welcome, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Finishing out late. We just started. It's only been going 3 minutes. So, what's the topic of conversation for tonight? Is everyone caught up on the chapters? Everyone caught up on the last one? I think so. I don't know if it was on last week's stream or in the comments. Somebody said it. Snowdroplet in the chat yet? I don't want to start talking spoilers if if not, or if yes. Yeah, that could either be, IRL Chris, my brother, or 2 other randos because this is a public stream. Or actually, I think there's like a few people in the Discord who don't chat at all, but are there. So could be any of them either. Jesus, it's my brother. Hi. What did you think of the chapter? He don't read. He don't read. So I'm gonna assume that the last person is not Snowdroplet. Oh, it is. Okay. Snowdroplet, did you read the last chapter? Are we all caught up here? Is everyone caught up? Because if so, then we can start discussing the last chapter, and if not, then we can abstain from that. We can abstain from commenting on last week's events. Or it's not last week, it was literally 2 days ago. But same thing, same difference. Who's the new guy? That's my brother in the stream. He pops in to watch every now and then if he's not doing anything else. Riveting content so far, but just want to make sure we're all on the same page before we get everything rolling. All right. Well, right out the gate, any other questions, comments, anything anyone would like to share that we can talk about just to kick us off, get the ball rolling here? Good question. Still waiting on a response there, Snow. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I suppose I could. I can go in and check the stats. Three days ago, the stat says yes, but I don't know if that was to completion. I don't know if the entire chapter was read yet. Perchance. You can't just say perchance. Because I don't want to. Because I really want to get. I'll be back. Goodness. See, this is the problem with moving the streams to Sunday, is because now if you didn't read it in the day it drops or the next day, you'll be behind. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't, but no, with having them on Thursdays at least, you had like the whole week to be caught up, and then it's like, all right, let's get excited for tomorrow. But this one, it's just like, all right, it just happened. What do we want to talk about? Let's discuss. Snowdroplet's gonna have to get back on it. Gonna have to be day of. Fair enough. Fair enough. So did I. It was crazy cold this weekend where I lived. We had with the wind chill. With the wind chill, it reached like negative 37 at one point outside. Like it was mad cold. It was crazy cold. Which a lot of businesses were just closing. They were just closing because they're just like, yeah, we're no. They were just like, no. I was not one of them. No. For some reason, everyone looked at the thermostat and they saw that it was negative 37 degrees outside. And you're like, you know what? Go for some fine dining right now. And then they came to my work and I'm like, why? Why? We were busier this weekend than like any other weekend out of the month. And I was like, why? Why? What makes you want to spend hours inside of a restaurant right now? I don't know. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Get up, get out of your homes, travel across town in your freezing car, get all your jacket on, and then go to a restaurant. I don't know why. You're good, Snowdroplet. We'll wait. We'll talk about anything else. Any discussion points outside of Friday's chapter? Oh, on the table. Oh, goodness. Oh, boy. If IRL Chris, I'm just going to keep calling him that because I don't know if he wants me to use his real name or not. I don't know if he cares. But IRL Chris, if he was here, y'all would have a new best friend. He loves that so much. He will not shut up about it. He will not shut up about it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You should have brought it up last week when he was here, but missed out, I guess. Also, by the way, what I'm fidgeting with in my hands in the past two stream is a bunch of Chris and Lloyd trading cards that I made a while ago. And they're nothing special. In fact, a lot of them are really bad because I just used like whatever AI image generator thing and typed in a description of the characters. And like a lot of them are really bad. You can't even tell what this one's supposed to be. And I know AI image generation sucks, but hey, it's fast and it's free. And like, I don't have the money or time to actually put in anymore, especially now that my tablet's broken. So I don't know. I just thought they would do like something fun to get like a quick visual reference just to like keep in my head so I don't forget like, oh, what is this character supposed to look like? So I just have like a vague, I mean, they're not 100% accurate, but just so I get like a vague kind of, oh yeah, forget. And like just at the top of the pile here, I have Crank and Shank just right off the bat. And I was like, oh, what a coinkydink. So I had a whole binder of like every character at the time that I made. Like I have a whole binder off to the side. But I started pulling out all the ones from the books specifically so far. And I've just been like kind of just playing and shuffling with them while we chat. YouTube has weird emojis? What? Ew, what the hell? face orange frowning. We pick who to talk about by randomly drawing a card. That's a good idea. That's a great idea. Do we do from the ones who appeared in the book already or ones who haven't? Because I can pull out all the cards and go through the ones who haven't appeared yet. Why don't we start with? Because I want to. Yeah, well, we can start with those who already appeared, but like, Chris. Let's talk about Chris, the main character. What's there to talk about? You know who he is. I was just gonna like say, like, I was being facetious about that. Like, I was just gonna like pick one at random and say, well, what if it's whoever? But then it ended up being like the perfect example. Yeah, let me shuffle them up real quick. Stopwatch. Very nice. Book exclusive. If you only read the Quotev story, then you wouldn't know Stopwatch is. Oh, that's a good question. I did answer this. I don't recall the exact number, but it was on like the first or second page of the book. In the past 20 years, page like the first page, past 20 years. So about 20 years they've kind of been going on. Not to say that there weren't any that existed beforehand, but 20 years is kind of when the whole superhero thing, it started becoming more apparent and, you know, public. It's about that. Because I have had a few that have been from before that, before the 20 years mark. Because I mean, technically, Jitterbug's way before that. Technically, I don't know if I ever went in depth on Jitterbug's story, but that's actually one that I'm actually quite proud of, at least from like a writing perspective. No. Well, they're definitely not up to date with us because I know from, you know, watching how Marvel is handling that, that it's not up to date. Chris and Lloyd are, I would say, like 2022, because that was the year that the first book was being written, that I wrote the first book. Or was it 2020 when I started writing and then 2022 when I published it? It would have been 2022 when I published it. So let's just say that. Let's just say they're in 2022-ish, about that, early 2020s. We'll just keep it around that time. I don't plan on doing any like time skips or anything like drastically. I mean, maybe further down the line, a year or so, but no, they would put it somewhere around the 2022, 2023, something like that. I'll kind of keep the year pretty vague so you can imagine that it's just whatever current year it is. So that's why I don't like to put like dated stuff, like whatever like memes are really relevant right now. I don't want to put that in there. Like I would put in like timeless jokes. Um Something that would be, oh, it's obviously well past this time when that was a thing, but it's still a thing, you know. I don't want to like give away any future jokes, but I do plan on making a Gangnam Style reference further down the line. It makes more sense and it'll be funnier in context, but like something like that where, okay, obviously it's, you know, past the year that came out, but you know, who knows when, right? So like that's not something that's gonna be like old. Like it's like, oh, ugh. Like I don't have Lloyd making like specific reference to any, you know, pop culture thing or whatever trend is going on at a time, or like or certain slang that like just recently came about or whatever in the past whatever years. I got like a hair on my neck and it's like driving me crazy. Um, but no, there's like certain like slang or sayings that I don't want to use just because I know they're gonna kind of get phased out and get old in a few years anyways, and I don't want my book to sound, you know, of its time because you just know how fast that stuff moves. Um, but yeah, Jitterbug from the 70s or 80s and got time traveled. Yes, yes, she was exposed to a abandoned Cold War project, and she ran at super speed and traveled into the future, um, where she doesn't have parents. She doesn't really have anything to do anymore. Like literally, no one's looking for her, so she can just run around and do whatever she wants with basically no consequences. There it is. Snowdroplet's back. Yeah, it wasn't the most surprising twist, but it was a twist nonetheless. And don't think I just threw Michael into this chapter just because I wanted it, just because, you know, we haven't seen him in a while. No, I actually gave like good in-depth thought behind why he would be here and what he's doing. Because we still haven't revealed his motive, what he's doing here. Because if he's not the Beast of Bray Road, then what's he doing here? You know what I mean? Exactly. Exactly. That's a very good point. That's the kind of thing you should be thinking about. It's very interesting. But I think there might be a second elephant in the room on this chapter here that everyone seems to kind of gloss over real fast. Yeah. 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 What's your point? Yeah, they acknowledge that they have superpowers and so they can help him out in the fight against Michael there. He is the Beast of Bray Road. That is true. Mm, Interesting. Well, it's more of just recognizing like, oh, these guys aren't just civilians. Like, oh, these guys have super. They're good. Like, we don't have to worry about them necessarily. Obviously, there's still like a werewolf running around, but they're like, oh, these guys are supers. Nice. But like, I get what that can kind of imply, and I should be more like wary about that. Um, a lot of like, yeah, one of those guys. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Um, a lot of like superhero universes or something like that, they'll have like a shorthand name for superheroes. Like they'll call them soups or they'll call them capes or supers or whatever. I don't really want to bind myself to that. I just want there to kind of be like a bunch of like slang shorthand terms for that. Like I don't want to like settle on just one. So like you'll find throughout the book people they'll be like, oh, your supers, oh, your capes, your soups. They'll just kind of bounce and forth between all that. Oh, Odd Job. Love that movie. No, yeah, they are. Yeah, they're cryptid hunters, and they have tons and tons and tons of experience doing this. And I tried to reference it a little bit in this last chapter. But they are both like very very smart. Like they are very highly intelligent. Like you can kind of pick it up on the way that they talk to each other. Um, but just the way that like Crank and Shank both reacted to finding out that Cliff was the werewolf. Um, yeah, not as big brain as Snowdrop, but figuring it out weeks in advance. Um, but figuring when they found out that Cliff was the werewolf, Crank just looks back at Shank and be like, "Well, what did thoughts?" And Shank's just like, I estimated about a 55%, basically a coin flip, like so, like he was doing like the mental estimations in his head on probabilities, and that they're not like smart Alex smart. I mean, it's still debatable of whether smart Alex is actually smart or not. But um, no, they are very attentive and detail oriented and clever, and something like that. They're more like problem solving smart than they are memorize the periodic table smart. I mean, these guys invented wolf shot, so they made knuckle dusters out of silver so they can go and punch the werewolves in the face. What are you talking about? Hello? I'm confused. um so Snowdrop, I don't know if we were in the background or that, but I was showing off a bit of the cards that I had for the book, and Finch had the idea that I should just shuffle them up and draw one, and then at random, and then that's who we talk about. So, for instance, we could talk about Mechano right there, and I was pulling out a bunch of the ones that have appeared in the books already. Like this is the ones that have, or some of them. But I also pitched going and taking out all the other ones that haven't appeared yet, and we can talk about that if I were to allow it, because obviously there's some characters that are going to be like secret. I don't want to like get into that. Maybe just because maybe it could be a hero who's now a villain later on, or it's a someone who doesn't have powers at the moment who eventually gets them, and I don't want to like spoil anything. Um, so I mean, I guess I could just take those cards out of the deck before we start drawing from them. But I was thinking like that's something that we could do. Oh, so it would kind of help like reference wise to like get everyone get like a mental image. Got Cass X, everyone's favorite Cass X with her phone. Everyone loves Cass X, don't they? Everyone's favorite character. Not Finch with the crying emoji. Don't worry. She'll come back. She'll make more appearances in my books. Don't worry. You won't have to go long without your favorite character, Cass X. Oh my god, she was so fun to write, actually. She was like, it was so natural writing a super annoying character. I don't know what that says about me, but I was just like, what is like the most annoying thing? Like I just want like write the most insufferable character possible, and it just came out so naturally, like it was flowing out of my fingertips. I would say she is probably dialogue wise. I would say she's probably the easiest one to write. Yeah, yeah. Although Crank and Shank's dialogue is also very easy for me because I really like talking about the cryptids and that because as a kid I was really obsessed with cryptids, and that's partially why they exist now. But no, if I could just write like a scene where it's just like the four of them like at Tuesdays, and they're just like talking, and like that's the whole chapter, it would be pretty long. It would probably be the longest chapter in the book. Who will break first? What do you mean? Are they in a fight? What are they competing for? What defines a break? Oh, she would annoy them to no end. Like they would jump to violence very quick. Very quick. They are not Crank and Shank, I will say, they are the they're not necessarily opposed to killing. I'll say they're kind of a bit more skewed morality wise, seeing as they're so quick to I pointed that out in another chapter is um before they went out before they went out Shank's just like, let's go kill him, and Lloyd had to object and be like, wait, isn't that still like a guy, still like isn't that just like a guy cursed to be a werewolf? There's still like a human in there somewhere. And they're just like, fine, if you want to do it the nice way, we can. um I mean, not well, kind of, okay, because just because the knuckle dusters are made of silver doesn't mean that that's not gonna break your jaw. And half of the wolf shot is silver nitrate, which does burn human skin really bad. So Crank really should be very careful with where he's shooting that. but he doesn't seem to be too concerned overall. Um, but no, their weaponry very much can also be used against humans. Um, but no, they have quite a bit in their trunk of their car. Um, they only took out the stuff that's for werewolves specifically. They have stuff for vampires. They have stuff for all kinds of critters and whatnot. Um, only downside is that a lot of the cryptids in particular are either one-offs or don't necessarily have weaknesses that you can build weapons around, um, or they are more like myth and folklore than they are like cryptid. But I suppose I've kind of already crossed that line with Nuckelavee, where some of the myth and folklore creatures are just also real. It's kind of up in the air what's real and what's not. It's kind of why I did that whole like, hey, is Chupacabra real? Is Loch Ness Monster real? Is Bigfoot real? Kind of conversation that they had earlier. Just because like what is and what isn't out there. For example, the Kelpie, the Nuckelavee fought. That would be more a because when it's oh, that's a good question. What percent? I see. I don't know. I don't know a lot of myth and folklore creatures. Because it would have to really come down to what kind. Um, yeah, side answer. Yeah, I think Cass would probably take him out just because she has powers. um, but it's fine. Um, what percent? I would say for the most. The one thing you contribute to this is the whirling Wimpus. Thank you, Mo. um, uh, all right, education time. I'm gonna. Yeah. I got it on. The whirling Wumpus. It is Wimpus. Why did it correct me to Wumpus? So the the whirling Wimpus is probably one of the funniest critters in American folklore. Um, what's his name? Wendigoon went on a whole video about this. There's the fearsome critters subclass of cryptids where it's a lot of just like lumberjack tall tales from like when the lumber industry and like that in the what like northeast midwest kind of area of America was like just getting started, and it was a lot of just chopping down trees everywhere. They would hit the moonshine and then tell tall tales of the whirling Wimpus, and it was just kind of weird little critters. That's where you get things like I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but basically what this thing is it is just a it's kind of a gorilla thing, like a little monkey type creature. And what it does, it has those giant arms, and what it does is it spins around in a circle like this so fast, like so astronomically fast, that it just becomes invisible. So all you'll just hear like a kind of like a little whirring sound, like a little, and you're like, "What's that?" And it's like they so like, "Oh, if you hear that, you better run away because that done were the whirling Wimpus." And the point of it is to like it's like a campfire story. You like try to scare the new guy in the lumber industry, and basically the thing is like you got to be careful because if you like walk into it while it's spinning around so fast that it's invisible, if you don't see it, you just walk into it, you'll just get annihilated into a fine mist. Like it will just vaporize you. You will just get smacked with these giant mitts at like 8 quintillion miles per hour, and you will just be erased from the universe. And it's so funny. Half of these things, they are so funny. There's another one I want to talk about. The aggro pelter, and it is a monkey. There's a lot of monkeys. There's a lot of monkeys. It is a monkey with really long whip hand noodle arms. And what it does is it'll just grab like chunks of like dead branches and it'll just whip the damn things like for miles, like miles away, and it will just bean you in the back of the head with it. And it was kind of like if you ever get if you ever get like something falls on your head out in the middle of the woods and you don't know where it was, it done were the aggro pelter. And or so if they find a lumberjack dead and he just crushed under a log and it's like what happened, where did this come from? Obviously just fell from the tree, but it's like, oh, must be that damn aggro pelter. Is the monkey ones are really funny. I don't know. There's the spinning monkey and there's the stick hucking monkey, and probably should not say that. It could be taken out of context really bad. But yeah, so no, that's what he's referencing. I don't think I will make those canon to the Chris and Lloyd universe. No, I don't. I don't think so. I think those are just little silly stories. Um, I mean, it could be if I wanted to. If I'm feeling silly that day, Crank and Shank could come across a little monkey with long whip hand arms, and he would throw a dead branch at their heads. Could be silly. Could be. I don't know. Um, backpedaling quite a bit though. Um, to like myth and folklore stuff. I would say dragons for sure, but not really. Because that ties in. There's a character in the universe who is a big player, and I just haven't. I've been sitting on him for so long, and I'm so angry because I really want to get him out into the books, but I have nowhere to put him. Like I have no way to possibly squeeze him in anywhere. Um, I thought I had an idea at one point, but I completely forgot what it was. Um, but I think maybe the best route is to either just give him his own book, or like put him into a chapter in a Whip Hand and Valor and then give him his own book. I want to give him his own book eventually, but I don't know when I'm going to be doing that, when in the lineup that's going to happen. But I would say dragons do exist, but not in that world. Like they're from another place, but there are dragons in there. Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably better. But the problem is that I don't have any I don't have a slot to introduce him at all. He was mentioned by mouth in the Chris and Lloyd book, but like they didn't do anything like that didn't come from anything of that. Like nothing came out of that. Um, So it's not. So I already mentioned it, so they're already aware of him, but they can't just be like, "Who are you?" So that has to be like a Lloyd geeking out over a superhero or something. But the guy and his team, like they're very like they keep to themselves a lot. They don't do a whole lot of crossing over or like working with other teams. So it'll be a bit weird to try and find a spot. Alternate dimension, I would say, more accurate. Yeah, there's like a dragon dimension that they come from, and that's a whole new bucket of worms of lore for the Chris and Lloyd universe. Says technically, because once I get the ball rolling on that guy, there's like a there's like so that opens the door for so many more. Um, because there's the main guy and then there's his two teammates and they both have a lot of lore going on. Um, and then there's a few other guys who are tied in essence to the main guy, and like there's just a lot I can do with that, but like that would literally have to be its own like arcing story set. Like like if I was going to go down that route, like it would be like how there's Chris and Lloyd and Whip Hand and Valor, like that story going on. There's the book club story going on. There's the Renegades going on. Um, although I'll admit, Renegades probably will get one more book, and then other than that, I don't know if I have any other plans for them specifically. I'll have to think. I'll have to think. Um, but no, I have quite a bit of plans for Chris and Lloyd. Obviously, that's the main trunk of my lore tree here. World's Greatest Book Club, I have a lot of plans for. Um, but I just wanted to get the Renegades out just so I can get like the ball rolling on a couple other things here. They're fun. They will be more relevant. They just won't get like their own like longer ongoing book series. They'll be popping up more. Um, but no, I would. I mean, again, and Snowdrop are gonna yell at me. I want to do the Black Rabbit books as well. Those will be much shorter, of course, but like there's a lot of more series I want to start, but I'm already doing 3 right now. Um, so if I'm gonna kind of like play my hand here, after Whip Hand of Valor Volume 1 is finished, I'm probably going to do the Black Rabbit book next. And then I'm ah sounds good. No, so Whip Hand of Valor, and then the first Black Rabbit book about the first rabbit. And then after that, a follow up book club, a book club sequel. It was blank until just now. That's really bad. Oh, that's not good. What did I do after that? You know what? I should probably do. I'll do that one next with the dragon guy, the guy tied to the dragons. I'll do that after the next book club book. It's fine, Snowdropper. You're fine. So I'll finish with Pen and Valor Volume 1. Really quick first Black Rabbit book. And then World's Greatest Book Club 2. And then Dragon Guy. and then I'd probably do Whip Hand of Valor Volume 2. So I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of stuff that I'm saving for Volume 2 because it's too early to do it in Volume 1, but I do still need a lot of time to kind of get things set in stone on how to go there. And then I don't even know if I should say, I'll say it. After Whip Hand of Valor Volume 2, so finish Volume 1, Black Rabbit book, Book Club 2, Dragon Guy book, Whip Hand of Valor Volume 2, and then after that, it's going to be a Whip Hand and Valor Renegades and Book Club triple crossover book. Like all three of them are going to get together for a big giant mission, and that's going to be the whole book. Is that? That's good. It is quite a bit out there. There's a lot of setup. I hope you're in for the long haul because it's going to be quite a few years until that happens. But I am also in it for the long haul, so that will be there. That will be there. I will get to that eventually. So, Volume 1, Black Rabbit. That one will be very short. I want to get it around 120 pages. That's what I'm going for. It's going to be a short one. I just want to do it, get it, and go, because I've been pussyfooting around the Black Rabbit book, and I just want to get it out and get it done, so I can just finally start adding these guys to the lore for real. Because right now all we have is the fourth one, and he just kind of showed up and then bounced and then never came back. He never showed up again. So Volume 1, Black Rabbit, Book Club 2, Dragon Guy, Whip Hand of Valor 2, and then multi-book crossover. I know he is. He's one of mine too. He's very, very cool. He's very cool. And I want to start getting all of them. They're all really good. They all have really cool stories, and I want to tell them all. I think I'm gonna have the Black Rabbit books be pretty shorter, which will be great because they'll be cheaper online. Because then I can put them all together into one big one. It could be all the parts, like all 4 parts. Because there's 4 Black Rabbits at the moment. So it'll be the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, like all their like origin stories, how they got the mask, what they did with it, how they pass it on to the next person. And then that can be like one Black Rabbit collection. And then after that, I can finally like carry on and do more with the Black Rabbit, which would be great. Yeah, Finch, of course, go ahead. Ooh, no. Currently, they are all still alive. Some of them may have faked their deaths, but they're all still alive. That is a good question. That is a very good question. All 4 of them are still alive, yes. When a Black Rabbit passes the mask and boots onto the next person, they become kind of like a mentor to them. And they have kind of like a base of operations called the Warren, the Black Warren. And they will kind of be in and out of it, like showing up when they can, So because like obviously they all have other things in their life that they have to do, that kind of like stopped them from being the Black Rabbit at the time, like why they gave it up, why they passed it on, and that. So they will all kind of like congregate and help out the new guy as he needs it. So like some days when the fourth Black Rabbit is out patrolling the streets and that, the first one and the third one will be chilling in the Black Warren, kind of like being the Oracle or the Alfred at the computer for Batman, helping them out, giving some advice, like, oh, I fought someone who had these kind of powers before. Here's how I overcame that. And they can just kind of like share their wisdom and their intelligence with him and kind of just like build up the next guy. So they all kind of work together like that, which I think is very cool. You get the fourth Black Rabbit right now. There you go. All right, friends, we are hitting that hour mark, and I have other stuff to do tonight. So I want to thank you for joining the stream here. I'll do my best to be back here next week. Anything else we want to talk about before we get out of here? Any more questions real quick? Wait, one more thing. Anything like that before, or are we all good to wrap it up for tonight? Screenshots of butt. Do you want to? Better image of that? Sorry, my finger's in the way. My fingers. There you go. Otherwise, I might have used like the exact same image, or if not a better one, on the World Anvil site that's linked in the Discord. And don't think I'm ignoring that. It's just been like it hasn't been updated for a while because there are still certain things that I want to keep secret before that. Like obviously I wasn't gonna start doing Cliff's entry until after I revealed he was a werewolf, obviously. And like, there's like certain aspects of his story I don't want to like put out there yet because it's gonna spoil it. Crank and Shank, there's still some things about them and their backstory I don't quite want to put out there quite yet because there's still a bit more on them. They still got a few secrets going on. We still don't know what's in the back seat. They're meant to be kind of a mysterious characters, of course. So we'll see where that goes. And I will update that. I'll probably update it at the end of the whole werewolf arc here. Like I'll probably update it then, and I don't want to do it before then because I don't want to give anything away even by accident. Or what I used to do is I just to put back when we had the Google Doc is I used to put like question marks to just imply that there was something there, and I didn't want to imply things where there wouldn't, or because even just implying that there's something there, like that there's a blank space or a mystery, can help give it away, and I don't want to do that. But I haven't forgot about the database, so don't worry. But again, thank you all for joining the stream. Lovely having you all here. I will see you all again next week. Have a good week.